explain this to me. So at this point up until today, have you ever been, I know you said you've been handcuffed, but have you ever had to spend a night in jail yet?
No, not at all. I mean, I was a rebellious teen in high school. I got in trouble with the police every now and then, but it was for skipping class. Other than that, I've never been in trouble with the law, ever.
Okay. But even in Peru, they haven't really officially arrested you,
Ah,
correct?
yeah. Yeah, in Peru as well, no. Whenever I paid the 5,000 soles, they told me it was to close the case out, like restitution to the family, and we're going to close the case out. But immediately after I paid the 5,000, that's when they told us, "Hey, we're going to actually charging you with intentional homicide."
Well, if they haven't arrested you yet, don't you think that you're not officially charged with that yet?
Exactly, that's what I would think too. But unfortunately, no. I had to go see the judge 2 weeks ago. I believe it was 2 weeks ago. We went and seen a judge, still free up until this point. Never, I was only in handcuffs. I've never spent a single day in jail here, a night. However, it's possible. The judge said that it would be better for my release because it doesn't seem as though, this is the crazy part. He told me that it doesn't seem as though my actions actually caused the death of this person. However, because here in Peru, it's not up to the judge. Whether or not to charge someone, it's up to the prosecutors and the lawyers on the other side. So because the family's pushing for it, the prosecutor's pushing for it, they really just kept pushing the intentional charges on me. Although I've been doing a lot of reading into the penal code here in Peru, and it seems as though that's like too far. That's like there's like a crime and punishment. They need to equal out to one another. And since my actions aren't the cause of the man's death, the intentional homicide charges are excessive. So why they're still pushing for intentional homicide charges, I do not know. But yeah, I've seen a judge for it.
But when you say they're pushing for it, if you haven't actually been arrested, they haven't officially charged you, right?
So I honestly, the way they're doing things here, it's really unorganized. We have officially been charged. My lawyer's trying now to get it pushed down to negligence, I think, which still doesn't make sense to me because I acted in self-defense. So we have been formally charged.
Isn't there a camera recording of this? Don't you have witnesses?
There is. Yep. Mm-hmm. Which is another thing. They're ignoring the evidence and still pushing for the charges, the intentional homicide charges. Why? I don't know. I've been trying to do a lot of research on how they can still do that because it seems mind-boggling. If this was in the United States, the charges would have already been dropped. But here, the prosecutors do not need a lot to charge you. They just need pressure pretty much because I can't say, because I'm in this country currently, I can't say the word I want to say, but let's say because of the unjust practices that they do in the judicial system here, they have more rights than they should when it comes to charging people with little evidence. Definitely
hold on. All right, hold on. Let's hang on there for 1 second because I have so many questions, and I know I don't understand, and a lot of people don't understand the laws in Peru. However, it seems like you're like, I'm wondering if they're just saying this stuff to scare you at this point. I mean, they can charge you with whatever they want, but someone has to decide that you get punished a certain way, and I would think that has to be a court or a judge or whatever. So. And you aren't in jail yet, so they can't have officially charged you unless you're kind of like the equivalent of out on bail. And they don't think you're a flight risk, which I would think you're a flight risk because you're not even from there. You're an American citizen. So a lot of it isn't matching up. How come? Do you have to get a lawyer there, or can you get a lawyer in America?
So yes, I can get a lawyer in the United States. However, I don't really know how that works. I haven't really looked into it. I've been more or less talking to the embassy about lawyers that they recommend or they have on their website, I should say. And so that way it keeps it local because I don't have a lot of money. They even said that I can get one from Lima, but I would have to pay for their travel. So I chose a lawyer here in here in Cusco, rather than Lima or outside in the United States. But it is very possible for me to get a lawyer from the United States.
Right. Okay. So, and I think I've seen you've addressed on your TikTok before, people have asked, why don't you just get on a plane and come home and deal with it from America as opposed to there? Because, by the way, once they do come in your house, cuff you, put you in jail, you have very little chance of getting your case out there, you know?
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts on that?
So that's been in the back of my mind, especially as we progress. I asked the embassy, because they told me I'm not considered a flight risk right now, which is another reason why I'm out. And I think the 5,000 soles was kind of like the promissory note, the promise that I'm not going to leave. So I've been trying to cooperate the best I can so they don't do that. But yeah, it's a very confusing situation for the people listening on my TikTok, even for me. However, the embassy told me that, if I leave, I won't be here to defend myself. And because the prosecutors need little to no evidence to actually charge me with a crime, as they're doing right now, even though I'm innocent, 100%, if I leave, they could use that as a sign of guilt, as me trying to get away from punishment that I may be getting, etc., and ultimately issue me an arrest warrant, an international arrest warrant, and a red note through Interpol, and then I'm just basically screwed altogether. So right
Okay.
now,
Let me
go
ask you
ahead.
a couple questions. Who has that evidence? Who has that videotape?
So my lawyer should have it. I requested it from her, but she only sent me the last 5 seconds of the video, and it's a 5-minute video. So I think she has it on her computer. The prosecutors definitely have it. The judge has it. I believe the embassy also has it now as well. So there's a good
Okay.
group of people who have it.
Okay. So I think, in my opinion, like if I was your sister or your friend, I would tell you, make sure that you also have a copy of
Yes.
that so that it's in your possession. I don't know who these, I don't know that you know these lawyers. I know the language isn't like your first language. So like, I think you got to protect yourself by having that. Are they charging the girl with the same offense that they're charging you with, or is it just you?
So right now, we both have the exact same charges. I actually was talking to the embassy on Friday about this, and that's how I kind of knew they had the video. They said they watched it, and they said that it seems as though right now we are both being charged with intentional homicide, but I'm now having to find a new lawyer for myself because it looks like moving forward, they're going to separate the charges. Because like I said, there's not enough evidence on me, but for some reason there is on her, even though we did the exact same thing during the fight.
Who was the one that punched him, that threw him on the ground?
That would be her. And I believe that's why they want to separate the charges, because they're trying to take this with a grain of salt. This isn't on paper yet. I believe that they're moving towards separating the charges to me being an accomplice to murder and her being the actual culpable murderer.
Right.
Which
So
is
is she freaking out?
um I can tell on the inside she is. She's trying to take it real calm, like, oh no, my lawyer has this. We're going to be okay. And I'm like, girl, no, I'm actually freaking out more than her. But
Well,
it
I
is
mean, the
taking.
only reason to freak out is because you want to move on, and you want to have a life, and you don't have to worry about this. You want to eventually come home and not worry that all of a sudden somebody's going to, send you back to Peru to serve a sentence.
Exactly.
Um, yeah. So are you still working in your job there? Are you still in school there?
I'm still in school. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit behind. I had to email all of my professors. So they gave me a deadline. They extended everything, which is great. So I've been trying to catch up on everything. As far as work goes, I am still working, but my hours have been drastically cut. Because I can't say where I work, unfortunately. They don't want to be involved in this. So they kind of pulled me back from teaching my students. I have one student left. Now I'm just working behind the scenes in the marketing department with my friends / coworkers, making videos for the school, trying to get people to buy packages with the professors that can teach. I went from, I think, roughly 115 hours a month, which is about 1,200 soles, to only 38 hours this month, which is only going to be roughly 550 soles.